Hey everyone, welcome back. And my wife and I just saw Hadestown the Pro Shot in theaters. I don't know anything about Hadestown or much about musicals in general, but my wife absolutely loves them. So she's going to have a lot more experience than me in this field. So I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And here's my wife to take over everything.
Hi everybody! I'm taking over this video to talk about the Hadestown Pro Shot since I'm the resident Broadway expert in our house. To start off, for those who don't know what a pro shot is, it's just a professional recording of a live stage production. These are really hard to get produced and distributed, so it's always really exciting to see one get released. For anyone who doesn't know what Hadestown is, it's a musical retelling of the ancient Greek tragedy of Orpheus and Eurydice. I've been following this musical since before its Broadway days, and I had the chance to see it live a few years ago, so I have a lot of love for this show. I'm just going to talk about why the show is great, my thoughts on the pro shot, and whether or not the film version holds up to seeing it on stage. Now, Hadestown isn't my favorite musical, but it's definitely up there, and if it's your favorite, I completely understand why. One thing I think this musical does better than most is steeping so much meaning into all of its lyrics. I mean, the ending is foreshadowed throughout the show, and most of them you'll miss until a second listen to the music. I adore the lyricism of this show. I can make a whole video just about that, but I'm sure those already exist, and this is supposed to be a review. The show also excels in its characters. Orpheus and Eurydice and their love act as a mirror to Hades and Persephone and the love they've forgotten over the years. You can see this in everything from the characters' mannerisms to their stage blocking and even their vocal ranges. Orpheus is a high tenor who frequently goes into a soaring falsetto, while Hades is a deep bass with some insanely low subharmonic notes. Orpheus's voice reflects his innocence, youth, and hope, while Hades' voice reflects a man hardened over the years by bitterness. Witnessing Orpheus and Eurydice's love at the beginning of the show, and Hades and Persephone's resentment, only to then watch as the young couple begin to make the same kind of mistakes as Hades and Persephone, you realize just how alike they really are. And of course, the ending is iconic. This tragedy is one that many people know, and the characters themselves practically tell you how it's going to end, and yet it still hits you just as hard when it happens. I've seen this show in person and watched the pro shot, and I've listened to the soundtrack countless times, and yet it still gets me every single time. I love the unique staging and mediums used to tell the story in this musical as well. The orchestra is on the stage, and the actors directly acknowledge the audience. The characters know this story happened a long time ago, and they're simply retelling it now. It acts like a circular story, with the opening of the musical being repeated at the end, only with a more somber tone now that the audience has witnessed the story as well. I adore circular stories like this, and it really drives home the central theme of hope that the musical conveys. They choose to keep singing and keep telling the story in the hopes that maybe one day it'll turn out different. Now I want to talk about the actors. Most of the original 2019 Broadway cast came back for this pro shot, and I'm so glad that they did. There have been other Hadestown casts that I also love, but this cast is just iconic. All of them are fantastic in their own right, and I'm so happy they could be immortalized in these roles in the pro shot. I've always been a big fan of Patrick Page, and his performance as Hades is just so commanding and captivating. I mean, you can feel everyone in the theater lock in when he first comes on stage. Ava Noblezada also has to be one of my favorite performances as Eurydice, since she just has the perfect voice for this role, and man, she can really cry when she needs to. I don't know how she isn't dehydrated all the time after doing the show 8 times a week. Everyone else in the cast is amazing as well. These two are just standout performances for me. Okay, now one important aspect of a pro shot is the cinematography. It needs to be filmed in a way that still shows off everything in the show, but also provide a unique experience that is different from seeing it live. I think this pro shot was shot beautifully. When seeing a show live, you can't really see the actors' faces up close, and this is something pro shots prioritize as a result. But I always hate when a pro shot focuses so much on that they're missing the other things happening on the stage. I think this pro shot balanced that perfectly, using close ups only when nothing else is happening so you don't feel like you're missing out. It also has fun with angles, showing us angles of the show you never get to see as a regular audience member, like shots from up above, shots from kind of behind, like facing out into the audience. It was just really cool to see that. But now, the real question, does the pro shot replace the experience of seeing the show in person? No, I don't think so, but really nothing will ever be able to capture the magic of seeing a show live. This one does a fantastic job, though, and is an amazing way to experience the show if you can't go see it or if you want to experience it again. I really hope the success of this pro shot will result in more being released. It may not replace the experience of seeing it live, but it opens the world of Broadway and musical theater to more people, and it gives fans like me a way to watch it again. I would probably give the Hadestown Pro Shot like a 9.5 out of 10, and I would highly recommend everyone goes to see it, even if you've never experienced professional live shows before. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for letting me take over a video.